Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my favorite Audible books. So this video is not sponsored by Audible at all. They did not pay me to talk about them or anything like that. I have just been using Audible so much lately, and I've been reading or listening to so many great books over the last couple months, and I just wanted to talk to you guys about the books that have been on my mind lately. A lot of them are self-help books, so if you're not into that, you may not like this video because a lot of the books that I read are on self-improvement. So let's start off with the book that I have finished recently, and it is The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins. Oh my god, you guys, I love this book. She's very motivating in how she talks, and just her talking about all of the struggles that Mel Robbins, the author, has gone through, and just talking about how she implemented a 5-second rule into her life that has completely changed her life by using one simple step, which is called the 5-second rule. And basically what the 5-second rule is, you count down from 5. So you do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you go do whatever you were gonna do. So for instance, her example of how she came up with the 5-second rule was getting out of bed in the morning and not hitting the snooze button when the alarm goes off. So she would set the alarm, it would go off in the morning, and then she would count. When it went off, she would go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and like she says, launch out of bed. What this rule does for you, it resets your brain and it kills any excuse that you have in your brain. So for me, it's procrastination. I procrastinate a lot. So for instance, I'll give you an example. I have a video that I need to edit and I need to get up in a few days. Instead of me procrastinating and like, oh, you know, I'll stay up late and I'll do it, or oh, I'll just do it tomorrow when I have a chance, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, do it. It's that simple. And something about counting backwards really works, and it just kind of like resets your brain and it kills the excuse that you're going to make. I love this book so much. I finished it, I think, in like 2 or 3 days. It's such a good book, and I can't stress you enough. You need to read that book. But yeah, it has really definitely changed my life in the way of me procrastinating. Instead of putting things off, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Just do it. Just freaking do it. So the second book that I have recently been listening to is called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. So this book is really kind of funny. He says the F word like a bazillion times in the book, so if you don't like bad language, I probably would stay away from this book. But it is such a good book because he basically talks about how much we give a fuck about what everybody thinks about us, about what our family thinks about us, what people at our job think about us, what we think about us, what our kids think about us, what our dog thinks about us, just about the world. He's saying in the book, just don't give a fuck, and it will make your life easier, and it will make everything around you just kind of sort of come together by you not caring so much. This book was really funny. He says a lot of things that are like so true, but like nobody wants to say it. I feel like this book is really good if you need to sort of get out of your head and get out of that anxiety that you could have just thinking about what other people think about you. So this is definitely a really good read or a really good listen if you are someone who constantly thinks about what other people think about you. I mean, I know I've struggled with that in the past. I used to care so much what people thought, and over the last year and a half, I just learned not to care what people think anymore, and just reading this book just sort of solidified like my whole thought process on what people think about you. It does not matter what people think about you. Such a good book. It's good. A lot of F words, a lot of F words, but it's a good book. The other book that I am actually not finished with yet, but so far I'm pretty deep into the book. I can give you guys a little idea of what the book is about. So this book is called The Mask of Masculinity by Lois Howes. And it says how men can embrace vulnerability, create strong relationships, and live their fullest lives. In this book, he talks about being vulnerable as a male and how society molds males into being strong and very masculine and not being able to show their feelings or their vulnerabilities or be themselves. So in this book, he talks about the 9 masks that men wear. It's so interesting. The 9 masks that men wear are the stoic mask, which is basically like the tough guy, doesn't cry, like super like no feelings, no pain, no crying, like nothing hurts me, I'm the big tough man. And then the other mask is the athlete mask, basically the guys who are just super competitive at sports, and if they don't play sports or they were injured in sports, they take out all their aggression in sports. And if they don't play sports anymore, there are super competitive parties and with people, and I don't know. That particular mask, I couldn't relate to anybody that I know personally, so I kind of don't really, I mean, I understand that mask, but it wasn't something that really stuck out to me. The material mask, basically a guy who is just 100% materialistic and he gets, you know, attention from women or attention from other people, or his self-worth comes from material things. The sexual mask, so basically the player, the guy who basically plays women and has a bunch of women at a time, has sex with a bunch of women and don't really care about how those women feel, they just use them to make themselves feel good. The aggression mask, which I believe I am on that one right now in the book. Basically that one talks about like anger and being tough and just, you know, covering all your feelings with anger. The next one is the Joker mask, which is basically the guys who are super sarcastic and super like in your face, like nothing you say can hurt me because I'm gonna hurt you back with my words, that sort of person. The next one is the invincible mask, which is basically that guy who has no fear, like does not care about anything, nothing scares him, nothing is good enough to take him down, like he is invincible. I haven't got into that one yet, but I'm sure that one will be really good. The second to last one is the know-it-all mask, basically the guy who knows everything because his intelligence is what masks him, and in being vulnerable, him being smarter than you or superior than you, it's the guy who doesn't need anybody's help. And then the next one is the alpha mask. The alpha mask, which believes in there are only 2 types of people, alphas and betas, so basically strong people and weak people, and they only concern themselves with alphas, with strong people, and that nothing in between is good enough. All of these masks that he talks about in these books, to me, are just all about, I'm gonna be tough and I'm not gonna show you how I feel, and oh my god, I'm not done with the book yet. It's my current read right now. Once I finish it, I feel like I'm gonna be able to go to every guy and figure out like, what mask are you? Who are you? I know who you are. I'm psycho. No, I'm just playing. I'm not. You know what's funny too is that I was reading this to find out about my boyfriend and just about like all the men in my life in general, and it's so funny because I don't think that my boyfriend has any of these masks. I was like, babe, you don't have any of these. Like, if anything, you're kind of like the Joker. Like, you like to kind of like joke around and like make jokes, you know, when things bother you, but you're not aggressive, you're not mean, you're not player, like nothing like that. So I'm like, oh my god, I have such a sweet guy. He's not normal by any means, but definitely he's not wearing a mask. He's 100% open with me, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so lucky. The next book that I read a couple months back when I first quit my job in February, it's called The 4-Hour Workweek. Escape 9 to 5, live anywhere, and join the new rich. I like this book a lot because it kind of explains to you how to prioritize your time, how to, or what to focus on that's important, quitting your 9 to 5 job, and basically only working 4 hours a week. Sounds insane, trust me, it sounds insane. When I read this book, I was like, this is insane. What it melts down to is productivity, how you spend your time, and number 2, investing in things that will make you money. even when you're not focused on them or working on them. Doing things that give out more energy than you have to put into them. So whether that be in work or relationships, or you know, finances, stuff like that. This is a hefty book. I mean, I'm basically summing it up into that. But if you're interested in quitting your 9 to 5 or wanting to have that entrepreneurial, you know, path, I would definitely read this book. Now, this book was great for me because it really taught me how to think differently with my time, how to be more productive, and how to decide, okay, am I gonna spend 5 hours on this, or can I think of a more efficient way to get this thing done in less time with less of my energy. It's a good book. It's kind of complicated a little bit because he really pushes the boundaries on the norms that we're used to in society, working that 9 to 5 job, having, you know, the lifestyle that we have here. It's different. It's a good book, but it's a little different. But yeah, I highly recommend that book. I actually bought that book on hardback and on Audible because I wanted to read it while I was listening to it so I can comprehend it more. Those are the 4 books that I have read or are currently reading right now. I love these books. They have really all taught me something in a different way and really enriched my life. Definitely the 5-second rule. That book is so good. That really has changed my life. So yeah, that is my favorite Audible books right now, and I highly recommend all of them. They're really great, and they're all like sort of self-help books, so they're really going to enrich your life. Anyways, I hope you guys like this video, and why don't you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up. You like how I put that in there? Oh my goodness, I need to go have some wine. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye!